Okay, let me ask you something. What if a computer knew you better than your own partner does? I mean, really knew you. It's a pretty wild idea, right? Well, that's the core of Sandra Motz's book, Mindmasters. And to really get it, our journey doesn't start in Silicon Valley. No, it starts in a tiny, tiny German village.
It all kicks off with a motorcycle crash. Picture this. The author, Sandra Motz, is 15 years old. She totally wrecks her boyfriend's bike. Now, in a tiny town like Wirkesheim, and oh yeah, she's the police chief's daughter, you can imagine how fast that news traveled. It was like wildfire.
In that one single event, it perfectly captures the book's main idea. You know, this feeling that living in a place where everybody knows everything about you, well, it's kind of both a comfort and a cage, isn't it?
Think about it. From just that one embarrassing moment, her neighbors could piece together so much about her. Her hopes, her fears, maybe even her dreams. They really, truly knew her, in all the good ways and all the bad ways. But here's the thing about Vogesheim. It was a two-way street. She knew all about her neighbors too, so it was a fair game, a game of equals. And that brings us to today. Our new digital village is, well, it's totally different. We've got countless algorithms that know us, like, intimately. But for us, we're just staring at a one-way mirror. We know almost nothing about them. And you won't believe the predictive power these new digital neighbors have. It's frankly shocking. They can figure out our deepest, darkest secrets from just the tiniest, faintest digital clues we leave behind. So let's talk about your Facebook likes, just for a second. They might seem totally random, right? You like a band here, a movie there, who cares? But what if I told you that collection of likes could tell a computer more about you than the people you love the most? You'd think it would take thousands, maybe millions of clues for an algorithm to know you that well. But the number, it's surprisingly small. All it takes is just 300. Yeah, you heard that right. The research on this is just mind-blowing. With only 300 of your Facebook likes, a computer model can predict your personality better than your own husband or wife. That's a level of insight that those nosy neighbors back in Vogesheim could only ever dream of. So what does that actually look like? Well, check this out. The likes over on the left, they correlate with what's called high agreeableness, so people who are generally trusting, empathetic. Then on the right, you see low agreeableness, more competitive, more critical folks. The patterns are surprisingly clear. And I guess it really does turn out the devil wears Prada. And this is where it gets even stranger. Liking curly fries or science apparently correlates with higher intelligence. Now, obviously, liking curly fries doesn't make you a genius, but for whatever reason, there's a link. And for an algorithm, that's all that matters. It doesn't need to know why, it just needs to find the pattern. So every single thing we do online, every click, every search, every time we buy something, it's like we're adding another tiny pixel to this incredibly detailed, high-resolution portrait of who we are on the inside. And this portrait is being painted with just a massive sea of data. We're talking about the words we use, the photos we post, every single credit card swipe. It even includes data from our phone sensors, like the way we hold our phones. Every little action is another brushstroke on the canvas. Okay, so what's the big deal? Well, all of this data creates a huge, massive power imbalance. This new digital village, it plays by a completely different set of rules than that little town of Vogesheim. See, back in the old village, that knowledge was reciprocal. Everybody was watching everybody else. You were observing, but you were also being observed. It created a kind of balance. But today, that balance is just gone. The big tech platforms, they see pretty much everything about us, but their own operations, they're almost completely hidden from us. It's like they're holding all the cards and we don't even know what game we're playing. And this imbalance of power, well, it's been exploited in some pretty famous ways. Think about it. In 2012, using voter data for political targeting was seen as this brilliant, innovative strategy. But fast forward to 2016 and it explodes into a global scandal. The techniques were basically the same, but with Cambridge Analytica, the story broke that data from millions and millions of people had been taken without them even knowing, let alone consenting. And you know, one of the original researchers whose work was foundational to all this, a guy named Mikhail Kosinski, he put it very bluntly. He said, "I only showed that the bomb exists. The science itself wasn't inherently evil, but it created an incredibly powerful new weapon. And now we're all living with the fallout." So, where does all this leave us?
What are we supposed to do? The book makes a really strong argument that our usual solutions, just tweaking our privacy settings, are completely, hopelessly inadequate. We've got to think bigger, way bigger.
I mean, the idea of controlling your own data sounds great, right? It sounds really empowering. But is it actually realistic? The hard truth is, no single person stands a chance against these massive, complex systems all by themselves.
The author uses a great metaphor for this. Trying to manage your own data privacy is like trying to captain a tiny little sailboat all by yourself in the middle of a raging thunderstorm. You're overwhelmed, you're outmatched, and the system is way, way too powerful.
Okay, so if going it alone is a losing battle, then what's the alternative? Well, the book's answer is simple but powerful: collective action. We have to band together to change the rules of the game. And the proposed solution is actually an old idea with a new twist: data co-ops, or you could call them data unions. Think about it like this. Just like labor unions gave individual workers the power to bargain collectively, these data co-ops would give us collective power over our own personal information. Because let's be real, one person calling up a tech giant is powerless. But what about millions of people, all represented by expert lawyers and negotiators? Now that is a force they would actually have to listen to. By pooling our data and our influence, we could actually negotiate for better privacy, for better terms, for a digital world that's built to serve us, not the other way around.
And that really brings us to the final and most crucial question of all. This new digital village, it's being built right now, as we speak, with or without our input. So the question isn't if it's going to exist. The real question is, who gets to write the rules? And shouldn't it be us?